distinguished guests, respected speakers, colleagues, and friends who are joining us from across the region. A very good morning, Sawadika, and a warm welcome to today's Southeast Asia Teacher Education Program SEA-TEP sharing session entitled Learning from Practice, SEA-TEP Classroom and School Level Experiences, organized by the Southeast Asian Ministers of Education Organization, Regional Center for STEM Education, SEA-TEP in Bangkok, Thailand. My name is Dr. Norhaniza binti Abdul Hamid from SEA-TEP, and it is my pleasure to serve you as the moderator for today's session. For this webinar, we're also delighted to welcome our guests and participants who are joining us on site here in Bangkok at Tayajan Conference Room, Teachers Council of Thailand, as well as those who are participating virtually via the Zoom platform. A warm welcome as well to everyone joining us live on our center's official YouTube platform. And on behalf of SEA-TEP, we warmly invite you to this webinar, and you may write your name and also the organization and country you come from in the chat box. And let us know is anything that you have in mind about this webinar. We also have speakers joining us today from Cambodia, Indonesia, Kazakhstan, Malaysia, and also Thailand. Their presence reflects the strong regional learning community that the Southeast Asian Teachers Education Program SEA-TEP has nurtured over the years, one grounded not only in ideas, but in real classroom practices. For your information, the SEA-TEP program is funded by Chevron and implemented across the participating countries that I mentioned earlier: Cambodia, Indonesia, Kazakhstan, Malaysia, and also Thailand. The program addresses persistent gaps in teachers' preparation, interdisciplinary integration, and access to the effective instructional resources faced by the education system in the region. Led by SEA-TEP in collaboration with regional partners, SEA-TEP equips over 1,800 pre-service and in-service educators with evidence-based learning unit and effective pedagogical frameworks rooted in three-dimensional learning. So these also include approaches such as claim evidence reasoning and scientific modeling designed to foster deeper engagement and conceptual understanding in STEM classrooms. We could see that SEA-TEP strengthened both pre-service and in-service STEM education through curriculum innovation, expert-led professional development, and also collaborative learning, all aligned with the competencies accessed by PISA assessment. So before we begin, may I kindly share a few housekeeping reminders. Please keep your microphones muted throughout the session to ensure the clear audio quality for those joining in the Zoom platform. We also encourage you to actively engage by posting your questions or reflections in the Zoom chat box and also from the live YouTube platform. Brief questions and answer moments will be also included after all the country presentation at the end of the session. To officially open the sharing session today, it is my great honor to invite a leader whose vision and dedication have been central to the SEA-TEP success across the region. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Kesara Amunbutiborn, the Center Director of SEA-TEP in Bangkok, to deliver the welcoming remarks and formally open the SEA-TEP sharing session. Please welcome Dr. Kesara.
Good morning, distinguished educator. It's my pleasure to represent SEA-TEP and senior committee partners and Caravan of Knowledge, another value partner for this SEA-TEP program. And this program cannot succeed without the support from Chevron, whose mission is to strengthen STEM education in the region. And more importantly, those partners who are very passionate and dedicated about strengthening STEM education in the region. We have been very struggling in changing education, and we have a high hope that by strengthening STEM education, by introducing integrated concept of how teaching and learning can be synergized through cross-subject teachers. It can make classroom changing. And SEA-TEP has been a great opportunity that educators can find out that if we have great tools, if we have great partners, university partners who can provide instructional support for teachers, and if teachers have dedication and willing to change, the classroom can change. These teachers, 5 from 5 countries, they are samples. They model that how teaching and learning can be transformed with support from educators from their countries. And I would like to express our appreciation that they are willing to share that how they have struggled, how they have put patience on changing the way they have been changed throughout those years. And I believe that this cannot happen without many parties who really support them, from the leaders in their schools that willing to support them, that they spend more time in conducting these activities that might be outside their curricula, but actually align with the indicators that their classroom want to achieve. We would like to express our gratitude for those instructional leaders who support them. And we really would like to express our appreciation that their students also want to try out something new. And these teachers have encouraged them and motivate them to try out new practices that they can enhance in critical thinking, problem solving, and tried out new tools that they never tried. Because education is not easy to change. By having these supporters who encourage the change, who support both instruction, content, and leadership support, this change can happen. So in the 2 hours, you will be shared about their practices, about the methods that they use to inform you that these practices, when it used properly, effectively, it will change the classroom and transform the classroom. So we hope that you will enjoy hearing and sharing this experience with the group. And this group can be a start of the community of practices that teachers are willing to share their new practices, their success, or sometimes lesson learned that the community can improve the practices in the future. So thank you for being with us, and we look forward to this meaningful exchange and looking to the future exchange in this community in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kasara, for setting the tone for this morning, and also for reminding us that meaningful educational change begins with learning from authentic practices. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now proceed to the photography session for today's event. So may I kindly invite all distinguished speakers, esteemed guests, and all participants on the Zoom platform to turn on their cameras for the photography session that we'll have next. Our organizing team has shared the Zoom background with you, and you're most welcome to use it for this session. So in count of 3, please smile and get ready for 3 snapshots of photos. We will have 2 formal shots and also another informal one after that. Is everyone ready? Okay, in count of three. 3, 2, 1. Okay, the second shot. 3, 2, 1. Okay, this is going to be the final one, the informal one. Can we have the mini love or any kind of gesture from the countries? In count of 3, 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you very much for your cooperation and support. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we'll now move on into the main segment of today's program, the regional perspectives on practical classroom sharing under the SEA-TEP program. So this session brings together educators who have translated SEA-TEP principles into real teaching and learning experiences. Their stories remind us that frameworks come alive only when the teachers and leaders thoughtfully adapt them into their own classroom and school context. So we'll begin our regional sharing with the Cambodia representative. It is my pleasure to introduce Ms. May Sophia from Hon Sen Kan Tanong High School, who will share with us her experience implementing SEA-TEP in classroom practice and the impact on the students' learning in the country. So Ms. May Sophia, the floor is now yours.
Thank you. Everyone seems to listen. Good morning, Professor, teacher, and everyone. My name is Ms. Today, I'm very happy to share my experience about learning from practice with the classroom and school experience. We will explore how hands-on STEM can transform students' thinking about her. So, this is what I'm going to share you. And before moving to the classroom activity, let me introduce myself. My name is May Sophia. I am a biology teacher at Hong Kong School in Cambodia. I'm a first year from pedagogy training program, and this year is my first year as teaching. As a new teacher and classroom implementer, I am deeply passionate about inquiry-based learning and bringing hands-on experiments to my students. Now I want to show you about the school context and students who participate in this implementation. This implementation was conducted at my workplace, Hong Kong High School, which is a public school that located in the rural district in Cambodia. For this implementation, that 10 students conduct the experiment, which consisting of 40 students, and this was an interview picture implementation conducted over 2-hour session to ensure every student who participated in the hand-on experiment by using the object. Now moving to our best practice held in our hand. The lesson we had two specific objectives. First, to demonstrate the method substance in fruit and vegetable for self-consumption, and second, to engage my students in problem solving by using the object. To read this objective, we need a paper and material. The material was somehow by body material. Those include printed device, vegetable and fruit, and a structure our worksheet for students collect the data. Having the right tool is just the beginning. The next step was to engage my students. So I start the class with driving questions. I asked them how do you scientifically think about chemical preserved in your daily food? And what are the substances found in, and how do you test your own prediction? This question leads directly to the first step of our framework plan. First, students make a plan. Many predict that the fruit and vegetable they consume every day must contain the highest amount of silicon from farming pesticides. They also note that while some fruit and vegetables are healthy, although may carry hidden risks. This led to our next question: how do we test this statement? Once the student made a plan, now let's move from survey to action by gathering the evidence. In this evidence task, they use the screen test device to collect actual data from the sample. This hand-on process allows them to act like a scientist, using technology to find the evidence to support their original plan. To connecting the evidence to scientific logic through the reasoning. Students had to provide their reasoning, and they learn to interpret the device result by red screen indicate high rates of nitrate consumption, while the green screen confirmed that the sample was stuck to it. By expanding this result, they connect the digital number to biological safety. I am a biological teacher,
I'm sorry, Miss May.
Hello.
Hello, Miss May. Sorry to interrupt. I think there's a technical problem. Some of the participants couldn't hear from your side. Could you, make your mic there a little bit to your mouth? Is that
Okay.
okay?
Now, do you hear me?
Yeah, now it's clear. You
Yeah.
may proceed.
Okay, let me explain again about this slide. Connecting the evidence through scientific logic through reasoning. So, students had to provide their reasoning, like they learn to interpret the result by so that the red screen indicate a high level of high risk of nitrate consumption, while the green screen confirmed that simple was safe to eat. As I am a biology teacher, I also guide them to understand why over fertilization and biological impact. Reflecting on this process, I would like to share how this inquiry-based approach changed my classroom. There was a significant increase in student engagement and critical thinking. And using inquiry-based tool like the screen test, the why make abstract biology feel relevant to their daily life. My final message to policymaker that we must continue to provide the budget and resource need to support this enhanced STEM classroom. So now this is my end of my presentation, and I want to express my gratitude for this opportunity to represent my school and my students. I look forward for your question and would be honored to join or contribute to any future session related to innovative classroom activity. By limit on time, and I welcome you to ask me the question where this contact. And once again, thank you for your attention, and I am now ready for your question and answer. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. May, for the thoughtful and inspiring sharing from Cambodian team. So Ms. May highlighted that the combination of instructional guidance and also reflective practices enable the students to improve lesson coherence, student engagement, and also the learning outcome that related to the SEA-TEP project. So our next presentation will come from a representative from Kazakhstan. We will also have a translator with him, Mr. Azamat, to share and translate the information with the speaker. So it is my pleasure to invite Ms. Kalia Kabrov Yelmira from School Lyceum No. 1 from Astana to share her experiences and lessons learned from SEA-TEP implementation. Please welcome.
Эльмира Ханым, доброе утро, вам слово отдаю.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning,
Good morning.
dear teacher. Next, speak in Russian. Ну, уважаемые гости, я сегодняшнюю свою презентацию назвала таким вот образом. От заучивания к пониманию методика SEA-TEP и моделирование в обучении химии.
Dear guests, I'm very glad to be here, and I will start with my presentation. The title, the name of my presentation is From Memorizing to Understanding CER Methodology and Modeling in Chemistry Teaching.
Yes.
Sorry,
Can you hear us?
Yes. Yes.
Can you share with us the full screen of the slide?
Просят в полный экран сделать презентацию. Можете, пожалуйста, презентацию в полный экран перевести?
Сейчас. Ставить.
Эльмира Белявна, разверните презентацию.
Thank you very much.
Уважаемые гости, я представляю Казахстан. Зовут меня Эльмира, я учитель химии, город Астана, государственная школа, школа-лицей номер 1, стаж работы 34 года, педагог-мастер, магистр химии.
Dear participants, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Elmira Kalyakbarova. I am from Kazakhstan. I am a chemistry teacher at the school number 1 in the city of Astana, the capital of Kazakhstan. My teaching experience is 34 years.
Ну, в проекте я уже 3-й год, в проекте именно Caravan Knowledge, прошла курсы, поэтому STEM я занимаюсь уже с 2009 года, поэтому была на выставке в городе Гонконге, посмотрела, как в Юго-Восточной Азии все это делается, но Казахстан очень сейчас идет в ногу со временем, поэтому мы активнее внедряем какие-то новые подходы, направленные на научное мышление, функциональной грамотности и, естественно, интеграция STEM и цифровых ресурсов в образовательный процесс. Ну, прежде всего...
Эльмира Ханым, по 3-4 предложения говорите, пожалуйста, чтобы была пауза, а потом я буду переводить. Хорошо? Спасибо. So I have been participating in this project for 3 years, but overall I have been involved in STEM projects in the STEM field since 2009. And I have attended and participated in numerous events and activities, such as I visited the exhibition, the fair in Hong Kong. And I also would like to say that our country, Kazakhstan, is following all the trends in the STEM field.
Thank you. Ну, во-первых, проблема, с которой я работаю, это возможность систем подхода формирования естественно-научной грамотности. Поэтому с детками, с учениками в старших классах, 8-11 классов, я работаю именно внедрением CIR и виртуального моделирования Sage Modeler.
So the topic of my presentation is the STEM opportunities, the opportunities of STEM approach in forming the natural science literacy during the chemistry classes. So I work with students, with pupils from 10th and 11th grade in school. And I also work with them in helping them to understand while introducing the CER and SAGE modeler.
Почему я выбрала именно CIR и Sage Modeler? Потому что это инструменты, которые эффективно развивают научное мышление. Ну, во-первых, CIR учит аргументированно мыслить свои ответы, а Sage Modeler дает именно причинно-следственные связи, которые делают понимание химических процессов более глубоким и осознанным.
The reason why I chose the CER approach and the SAGE model instrument is because this teaching helped me to understand that these tools effectively develop the scientific mindset, the scientific thinking of my students. Also, the CER teaches the students how to justify their responses, while SAGE Modeler also helps them to model the root causes, connections, and also help them to understand the chemical process and makes this understanding more in-depth and more knowledgeable.
Ну, я эти слайды пропущу, потому что CIR, я думаю, на уроках, обратите внимание, это рисунок, графический рисунок, сделан руками нашей ученицы Акань Амелии. Это химические реакции вокруг нас. Ребенок хорошо рисует, поэтому я думаю, надо представить вам.
So what you see right now on the screen is the image that was drawn by one of my students. Her name is Okany Amelia. She is the student of the 8th year. She's the 8th-year student. She has a very good drawing skills, and I thought that I would show you this image.
Ну, наверное, каждый учитель химии и каждый ученик всегда задает вопрос, зачем изучать химию? Наверное, у каждого ученика, у учителя вот такой вопрос встает. Поэтому это прежде всего вызов, челлендж. Показать, что химия не только формулы, а ключ к пониманию мира.
And I'm sure that everyone will agree that all teachers and all students who attend chemistry classes, chemistry lessons, first of all, they ask and they want to find the answer to the question, which is, why should I study chemistry? And in my lessons, for me, this is not just a lesson, this is a challenge. And I would like to make them understand, help them understand that this is a great opportunity, that this field, the chemistry field, is not just about formulas, it is a key to understanding the world around us.
Ну, я немножко... Какие методы я использую? Прежде всего, это междисциплинарный подход. Во-первых, химия никогда не может работать в связке без других наук, таких как биология, математика. Поэтому прежде всего это междисциплинарный подход или интеграция.
In my teaching, I use the interdisciplinary approach because this field, the field of chemistry, cannot exist or cannot be taught without being related or connected to other fields such as biology and mathematics. So we have to use the interdisciplinary approach.
Ну и, конечно, большую роль играет исследовательская деятельность, потому что химия без эксперимента, химия без... Это получается почти не предмет. Поэтому практические опыты, лабораторные работы и проектные работы, в которых мы участвуем с детьми в различных конкурсах, тоже формируют STEM-мышление учеников.
And also, we understand that chemistry cannot be taught without using the research element, the research activities. So in our lessons, in our teaching, we have to use a variety of different experiments, different methods. We work with the students in the lab.
Ну и, наверное, каждый думает, каждый учитель этого мира думает об устойчивом развитии, чтобы не навредить экологии, не навредить. И, естественно, мы эти методы тоже используем в своей практике.
And also in our teaching practices, we use the principle of sustainable development. So chemistry goes hand in hand with environment, with ecology, because we all think about how to make our world greener and more sustainable.
Ну, наверное, почему выбрала CIR, почему эффективно? Потому что это прежде всего метод мышления науки. То есть мы всегда начинаем именно с гипотезы, а потом ее доказываем, а потом уже обосновываем.
Why have I chosen to use the CER method? It's because it is very effective, it is very efficient. It helps the students to form, to develop their scientific thinking, because we first start with hypothesis and then we move on to more practical things.
Ну, на этом слайде вы видите вот листок, урок, как бы дети сами, которые сделали вот работы CIR. Это ученики 11 класса, изучение темы бензол и его строение и химические свойства.
And what you see right now on this slide is an image or is a drawing that was made by our 11th grade students. So you see their handwriting on this chemical topic.
Ну, здесь можно не только в старших классах. Наверное, я думаю, CIR лучше внедрять, научить детей именно с 8 класса, а потом уже потихонечку идти. Что мы и делаем. Например, исследование коррозии металла, свойства катализаторов. Это темы, которые мы проходим в 8 классе.
And we think that this principle, this method, the CER method, should should start to be taught starting from the 8th grade. You know, and you can start from a different subject, different topics, such as studying and understanding the corrosion of metals or the properties of catalyzers.
Ну, теперь какой ключевой опыт извлекла за это время, пока мы использовали этот метод CIR и Sage Modeler? Прежде всего, ученики научились лучше объяснять свои ответы, то есть аргументированно отвечать. Хорошо работает практика. Вначале ученик выдвигает утверждение, а потом приводит доказательства. И какие факторы успеха? Большую роль, конечно, сыграли курсы, которые я прошла через Caravan Knowledge и научила детей к этим форматам работы.
Here I would like to tell you a few words about the key experience and lessons learned. So after we introduced the CER and Sage Modeler, we saw that our students were better at explaining and justifying their answers and responses. They felt more confident in expressing their opinions. They didn't just respond and gave answers, but they started to discuss and justify their answers. So we used the best practices, such as we let the students to make the statement and then to justify it, to give proof to justify the answer. And also I would like to say that a big success factor was that I participated in the Caravan of Knowledge courses and projects, which gave me the necessary experience and knowledge, and it helped me to raise the interest among my students to the new forms of work.
Ну, конечно, без трудностей не обошлось. Но основной трудностью, конечно, это прежде всего, это по времени очень много заняло. Потом нужно было научить новой структуре рассуждения CIR, научить работе с моделированием, потому что это анализ многих данных, поэтому потребовалось немножко больше времени.
So, of course, we have to say a couple of words about the challenges and difficulties that we faced in when working with CER integration, when integrating the CER and Sage Modeler in our classes and in our teaching. So, of course, the first challenge was time. It required a lot of time to introduce this in our work, and in the beginning, for our students, it was difficult not only to give the answer, but also to justify the model, to explain, to justify their conclusions.
Ну, естественно, определенные вызовы возникли. Можно ли масштабировать эти подходы для учителей школ, например, Казахстана? Да, я считаю, что этот подход можно легко масштабируется. он может быть внедрен через курсы точно так же, через методическое объединение, и самое главное, не требует сложного оборудования и хорошо адаптируется под разные предметы.
If we talk about other challenges, one of them was the following question. Can this approach be scaled up to be used by other teachers and other schools in our country, in Kazakhstan? If yes, then how? So the answer to that question is yes. This approach can easily be scaled up. It could be implemented through different activities such as professional development courses, the methodical associations, or through the mutual planning of lessons. It does not require, there is no need for any expensive and comprehensive equipment, and it can be easily adapted for different subjects.
Thank you. Ну и, конечно, мне как педагогу, что я изменю в работе? Конечно, наверное, в следующий раз я в этот раз вняла интеграцию CIR и Sage Modeler. Немножко было сложно. Я думаю, вначале поэтапно отработать CIR, потом Sage Modeler, и потом только подключать моделирование.
What am I going to change in my work, in my teaching? So in the next phase, I would do it step by step. Gradually. So first, I will work on introducing the CER, then the Sage Modeler, and then the next phase would be introducing the modeling.
Ну и, естественно, что дает? После внедрения ученики стали активно участвовать в обсуждениях, то есть каждый выдвигает свои мысли. Это хорошо как бы повысилось качество рассуждения. И, естественно, они понимают уже химические процессы.
And this all helped to improve the learning and the involvement of our students after we introduced the CER and Sage Modeler. Our students became more active during the lessons. They became more active in discussions during the lessons. They became more confident in giving their answers and justifying them. And it also helped to raise the quality, the level of our discussions.
Ну и немножечко хочу показать именно видеофрагменты. И вот времени нет, наверное, я думаю, поэтому вот такие, это прошлого года, 25-го года, поэтому...
And I would just like to briefly show you some video footages that we recorded during our lessons. And right now you see on your screen the video footage from one of our lessons, which was recorded last year in 2025.
Ну вот такие фотографии. Это видео уже тоже с прошлого года. И вот видеоматериалы. Это фотогалерея.
So there was another video footage, and on this slide you see a couple of photographs from our lessons.
Ну и почему мне, например, больше нравится, наверное, по стилю мышления Sage Modeler. Почему он полезен для урока? Во-первых, визуализация. То, что мы не можем увидеть, мы видим через Sage Modeler. Во-первых, второе – это развитие исследовательских навыков, поддержка научного метода, интуитивный интерфейс и интеграция с Google Drive. То есть работать могут в группе, удаленно и так далее, все вместе.
So why do I think that Sage Modeler is such a useful tool in teaching chemistry? Well, there are a number of reasons for that, and I will tell them to you. So first, it helps to visualize complex chemical processes, which we don't see in real life. It also helps to develop research skills among our students. Also, it helps with a scientific method. It teaches you how you can use real data and connect the models with lab experiments. It also has a very intuitive, user-friendly interface, so very convenient to use, and it can also be integrated with Google Drive, which means that you can work in a group, you can work remotely with your peers.
Ну, впервые в этом году я провела интеграцию CIR и Sage Modeler. Ну, во-первых, я хотела сказать, что эффективный очень учебный цикл, создаются модели, я сейчас в конце хочу презентовать, и самое главное, что они могут формулировать какие-то обоснования и выводы.
This year, for the first time, I have completed the integration of CER and SAGE modeler. Why did I do so? Because it makes the teaching cycle very effective, very efficient. It helps creating models. You can monitor and observe the changes. It helps with data collection. It helps with formulating claims, and it helps with reasoning. And I will show you a model at the end.
Ну и хочу сделать несколько выводов. Мы всегда говорим, что ученик, что химия – это не только формулы, это сам процесс, невидимый процесс, который мы должны увидеть через моделирование. И поэтому в результате что несет вот это новое, вот это моделирование? Во-первых, ребенок понимает химию, не заучивает, аргументирует свои ответы и, самое главное, активно вовлекается в процесс.
And at the end, let me make a couple of conclusions. So why do we use the CER methods and modeling? Because then they make the invisible things visible. They help our students to understand what is actually happening, why it is happening, and the connections between root causes and outcomes. So in the end, the students will understand chemistry, not just memorize, but understand it. It will help them to justify their answers and responses scientifically and knowledgeably. It also helps the students to be actively involved in the teaching and learning process. And they also help our students to actually solve the task through understanding, but not just as a template, which is memorized.
Thank you very much. Азамат, пожалуйста, переведите. Спасибо за такую предоставленную возможность Каравану Knowledge, что смогли мы, Казахстан, представить, что мы тоже работаем такими платформами, такими методами, и у нас тоже есть какие-то определенные результаты. Спасибо большое.
And let me at the end conclude by saying a big thank you to all the organizers and to the Caravan of Knowledge team, because we are very grateful and we are very happy for having this opportunity to be involved in this project and for having this opportunity to present our results and to represent our country.
И большое спасибо организаторам, что представили вот такую возможность.
And once again, we would like to say thanks to the organizers for inviting us and giving such a great opportunity for us to participate in this event.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Kalia Kabarova and also Mr. Azamat for highlighting how SEA-TEP practices have been thoughtfully contextualized in your school in Kazakhstan. We truly appreciate the thoughtful way in which your classroom practices reflect the local context related to claim evidence, reasoning, and modeling approaches, and the use of SAGE modeler for interdisciplinary learning and effective learning experiences among the students. So for those who are joining us today, if you have any question to ask to the speaker, you may write it down in the chat box and we'll read it again during the Q&A session at the end of all the presentations. And for those who are just joining us on YouTube Live, welcome to the webinar, and you may write your name in the chat box and let us know again which country you are joining us from. Ladies and gentlemen, to proceed with the next agenda, we will now move on to the Indonesia representative. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Siti Fatima from Muhammadiyah 5 Junior High School, who will share us the SEA-TEP classroom journey and reflections on the instructional practices. Ms. Siti Fatima, over to you.
Yes. Okay, everyone, can you hear my voice?
Yes, we can hear you, Ms. Fatima.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let me start. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. Selamat pagi, Bapak Ibu. Thank you so much for having me here today. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Siti Fatima. I'm a science teacher in Muhammadiyah 5 Junior High School, Yogyakarta, Indonesia. I have teaching experience for years, and I would like to share the implementation my teaching experience. I'm really excited to talk to you about learning from practice, SEA-TEP, classroom, and school level experiences. So, the subject or topic area for the implementation is science, integrating chemistry and biology in daily life. And for the level of student involved is 8th grade students of junior high school. And the students were divided into 2 groups. The first one is a control group with a standard instruction. And the second one is experimental group with implementing the CER method. And the school context is urban school. Next one is which SEA-TEP intervention was adopted or adapted and why? The intervention adapted is the water quality module integrated with the CER, claim, evidence, and reasoning method. We choose this because water is a fundamental necessity of life. We wanted students to understand water quality and develop an awareness of the importance of water conservation. So this is the photo that we test the water quality. Next is tools and resources. There is pH meters. This is the to test acidity in water. And then TDS, total dissolved solid meters. Next is 3 different water samples. So we use 3 different water samples, instructional videos on water quality, and student worksheet. Next is how many hours did you use the intervention in your classroom? So in each group, the duration is 18 minutes. And for the teaching is individual teacher. The next one is key experiences and lesson learned. Okay, the first one is success stories you would like to share. I will share some success story in my classroom, especially at the students' participation. They saw their excitement to investigate water quality. Many were able to formulate questions using the CER framework, such as, how are the qualification of healthy water? And what happens if water is boiled before consumption? The next one is the good or best practice that would like to highlight. A highlight of the program was the hands-on practical work where the students collected data as part of the evidence component in the CER method. For supporting factor, our success was bolstered by the collaboration between our school and Ahmad Dahlan University, the pioneer of STEM learning in Yogyakarta. They provided essential resources, including conceptual frameworks, administrative support, and learning tools. So, the challenges in this experience is implementing the CER method for the first time was challenging because it was rarely used in depth in our previous classes. However, it successfully piqued students' curiosity, making them more active and engaged in learning process. So this is the student, they ask a question and it's more curiosity. So the next one is, what would you do differently next time? Differently next time, in the future, I plan to extend the durations of the lessons to fully complete the STEM CER implementation, ensuring students can produce more impactful and tangible products. And can this approach be scaled to other teachers or schools, and how? So this approach is highly scalable. It can be adapted to other subjects, connected to STEM and tailored to fit the specific background and context of different schools. The next one is 1 key lessons for other teachers or schools. The CR method should be applied beyond science because it fosters critical thinking skills essential for all areas of study. And the next one is 1 key message you want policymaker or leaders to hear. So the students need to space an opportunity to grow naturally. Their innate curiosity can be nurtured through STEM and CER methods. So we need stronger support from teachers, schools, and policymakers to further introduce and promote STEM STEM education. So this is me and my class after implementing the experiences. So thank you. That's all of my best practice. Thank you so much for the attention. Terima kasih. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, terima kasih, Ms. Fatima, for sharing those rich and practical experiences from Indonesia. We have learned how SEA-TEP supported teachers by providing structured pedagogical frameworks in relating to students' success stories in terms of their engagement, learning outcomes, while allowing flexibility for real-life application for the water quality topic. Following to our next agenda today, we now turn to the Thailand representative. Now it's my pleasure to invite Ms. Benyapon Intap from Nong Bua Municipality School 2, who will share her SEA-TEP classroom experiences and reflections from the practices. So Ms. Benyapon, the floor is now yours.
Sawadika. Can you hear my voice?
Sawadika, yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Unlock mathematics listening with RME and CER models. Good morning. My name is Benyapon Intep. I am graduate from Naresuan University. Now I'm a math teacher in Chiang Rai Municipal to Nong Bua School in Thailand. Today I'm excited to share how to transform my mathematics classroom, moving from complete silence to active listening through innovation. Looking back to a year, I was a teaching third grade student in notice striking contrast. My students were natural, talkative, and expressive, mixed ability classroom. Now let's look at the core of this project. Why did I choose this invention? I start with problem I call listening gap. My students were excellent at calculation. If I ask why is more or which is less, they could answer instantly. But whenever I ask why or what is your evidence, the whole classroom went silent. They were trapped and lost memory. They knew the answer, but they didn't understand the meaning behind it. To break this silence, I need to change the way they learn to adopt CER evidence listening framework combined with RME or realistic mathematics education. I used a real-world activity called the School Improvement Survey. This context with RME, students care about the data in school, and with RME and with CER. They finally had system explain their thought. My goal was simple: to shift from memorization formulas to meaningful listening. Turning theory in practice refine the right tool. Here is my implementation toolkit. I developed 5 listening plan with IME and CER that seamlessly integrate the IME and CER model. On the right, you will see the learning management plan, spinning 6 hours. The process follows 3 steps of IME, starting from understand the problem context, moving to mathematical representation, and finally interpreting the problem to present school development sensitivity. But to make it work, I need support material. I have survey activity sheets for students to collect real data from the school environment and mock pictogram manipulative for hand-on practice day about drawing pictogram. With this tool and this time frame, let's see happen in the classroom.
มีอะไรบ้างล่ะ
มีห้องสมุด มีสนามหญ้า มีร้านกิจกรรม มีอาคารชั้นร้อยให้ทายว่าอันไหนมีคนชอบมากที่สุดร้านกิจกรรมโอ้เฉลยห้องสมุด
This is my classroom with IME and CER. Next, I would like to share our listening learn. The ultimate success of this research was without adopt a true classroom transformation. We faced the challenge of memorization. Students were good at calculation, but they can't explain why. To break this wall of silence, I introduced my IME combined with CER's framework as a key intervention, and here is the result. The classroom changed completely. Students transformed into active listening. They become confident using CER expand their thinking. They believe math is a tool to understand, improve their world. In short, we successfully move from silent to listening. Next, reflecting on this journey, I would like to highlight three best practices. This truly made this project success. The first one is scaffolding tools. I built their confidence. We changed the process. We start by letting students practice data surveying inside the classroom. First one, they were comfortable. We moved to big group tryout outside the classroom. This step-by-step prepare lowered their anxiety and help them organize their complex thought before facing the real world. Okay. Second is meaningful context. Using the school improvement survive was a game challenger because the topic was the school. They didn't calculate number. They want to find the truth and care. Lastly, guideline questions. I shift my role from lecturing and to asking by consistently
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi
asking why
wabarakatuh. Dia
where
perkenalkan
is
saya
your
Bardan,
evidence.
Pak Bima. Kami
I
dari SMP
build a
Muhammadiyah 5
new
Jogja.
habit in
Kemudian
classroom
mana?
where listening come before
Oke.
answers.
Jadi niat kami datang.
Okay. Next one is supporting factor success. The first one is authentic context because the problem was real in this school. They really want to solve it. Two, semantic scaffolding, providing structure to like CER prompt to remind what they think semantically for listening. And the last one is safe environment. We create a space where listening was more important than just being right. So they were not afraid to speak up. This is the first one evidence that my students learn. I observe students draw conclusion by performance calculation direct from data. For example, the library combined the activity area has 6 people. The listening have to combine to area, and the answer has compare and to links in evidence. Students use color circle to highlight important point as evidence from their answer. What would I do different? The first one, I would introduce digital tools for oral listening. Since writing was structured, I would let students record video clip of their experience first, and second, cause circular interaction. I plan collaborate with other subjects such as science and Thai language teacher. If we teach listening writing in Thai class, listening logic in math is symbolized. The key challenge of the first one is bridging mathematics and CR situation. Because connect abstract math in the real life in thought, because it requires deep conceptual understanding. We found the visualization is to the bridge, turn abstract number into certain evidence for CER framework. However, the difficult is not everyone in a natural visual thinker. Neither student nor every teacher instinctively think in picture, which create a gap. We need the code and listening gap. A common question: can this approach be shared in other school? My answer is yes. Here is how in 3 simple steps. The first one is shift the context. Teacher simply take standard textbook problem turn into real scenario. Second, adapt and don't reinvent. Teacher don't need to create new material from scratch. They need to adapt the context to fit their teacher. Finally, universal inquiry. The CER question, what, why, where is your evidence, can be used in every subject, not just math. It is a tool for our learning. So any teacher anyway can start to do this tomorrow. If there is one lesson I want to share, it is this: don't underestimate our student. We often think grade 3 is young from complex listening, but this project provides the context is the key. When the problem is real of them, like their own school, they will solve it. So the listening context before content give their problem care about, give them to things, and they will surprise you. One key message to policy marker. One, we often measure problem solving by looking the final answer, but I propose that true problem solving is actually about listening of students. And finally, the success this project is driving a strong collaboration network. I had the privilege of working alongside talent college was from Naleswan University. If you interested to see how we apply this method, different context with grade level and different subject in science, you will scan QR code and visit our page. Because I believe if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go together. So I start my journey with CER during 3rd and 4th years as a pre-cert teacher, and now I continue to apply today as a full-time teacher. I have implemented this framework to different schools and every context. I wellness the same lesson. CER empowers students both paid use mathematics for listening effectively. I'm not an expert, but I'm trying to expert. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that engaging and reflective sharing session from Thailand team. So we have learned how Thailand teachers adapt CR and also modeling adoption in the mathematics classroom in your school, yeah, Ms. Penyapont. So this SEA-TEP experience demonstrates that sustainable improvement requires support from the teachers who can connect pedagogical quality with system level support, including the learning tool used to support the mathematical reasoning approach in the video that Ms. Penyapont just shared with us just now. Thank you again, Ms. Penyapont, for the presentation. Just a reminder for everyone, please keep your microphones muted throughout the session. We encourage you to actively engage by posting your questions or reflection in the Zoom and YouTube chat box. So we now come to our final country sharing for this session, which is Malaysia. We will have a recorded video from Ms. Nur Azura binti Abdul Jalil from the Sarawak State Education Department, who will share perspective from both schools and system level on SEA-TEP implementation in Malaysia.
Teachers role. Okay. Before this, I was a teacher in SMK Bako and 23 years in service as an educator. But by beginning this year in 2026, I transitioned to a new portfolio and am now attached to the Sarawak State Education Department. Okay, so in SEA-TEP project, my role is to actively engage and participate in SEA-TEP programs. Okay, I also involved as a duta guru and education edufluencer, where it working closely with the Ministry of Education, right? Through this role, actually, I support the dissemination of innovative teaching practices, particularly in STEM education, by sharing good practices with teachers, engaging in professional learning activities, and contributing in professional learning, contributing to outreach and advocacy efforts. Okay, my involvement also allows me to bridge classroom practices with wider professional communities, helping to promote the effective pedagogies and strengthen teaching, right? And also learning practices across the schools, right? Now we go to the sharing, okay, this sharing. So I would like to share some of my experiences teaching at SMK Bako, right? Actually, SMK Bako is a rural secondary school located in Kuching district in Sarawak. Okay, after I moved from Perak to Kuching in 2011, I faced so many challenges when I started teaching there. Okay, I noticed that when I get engaged in the classroom, especially in my science subject in the classroom, I found that most of my students had a difficulty explaining their ideas and giving scientific reasons for their answers. Okay, actually they understand. Okay, they understand what they learned on the day, but there really a lack of. There's a gap. Actually, there's a gap where my students they really can't relate with the scientific process skills like hypothesis. They know hypothesis, but they really don't know how to, to create some justification or maybe the reason, right? So from 2011 until 2022, so I think it is 11 years. Yeah, I'm still searching for better ways to help my students. Okay, especially suitable teaching approaches to attract their interest, help my students to communicate better and increase their confidence and motivation in learning science. Okay, in 2023, as suggestion from Dr. Haniza from the senior STEM Ed, she asked me to join the workshop organized by the senior STEM app. So I joined this workshop for, I think, for 6 months, something like that. So one of the added values of the workshop was that I was introduced to the CLAM, evidence and reasoning CER approach. Yeah. At first, I found it quite challenging. Yeah, it is very challenging to understand because this is the new method for me as a teacher in Malaysia at that time. Yeah, I think that wow, so hard. But I keep on positive and keep on learning. So I think around 3 or 4 months, something like that, alhamdulillah, I'm keep on good progressive, where I can understand it better, right? So during the workshop, I was introduced to this approach, and I found it was very interesting because this method actually it can help to build up my students' confidence, especially to communicate and then to defend their scientific justification, or maybe give some reason, in scientifically what they had learned and what they understand, and then they can create their own justification. So right, in 2023, I tried this approach to my Form 1 Amanah that time. The first thing that I do is my strategy, right? And the first thing that I do is I went to my principal that time, Mr. Yusri, and requested permission to conduct a digital Canva lesson, especially for my Form 1 Amanah students. Why I choose Canva? I think that Canva, it is a good tool to the students, where the students can learn much more faster, because this Canva, it can be downloaded on students' mobile phones. So I think that this is the good try for my students. So I think I teach this Canva class to my 35 students. So for about 1 month intervention, I familiarized that my students, they have a good progressive, and where they can create something. So the second stage, how I implement the CER approach in my classroom. So the second stage is I ask my students whether they would like to have online science classes. I think it's just only for 1 hour for twice a month, every Saturdays. Then I get the positive feedback. Alhamdulillah, most of my students that time, they really want to have an extra science class. So when I conduct the extra class, via Google Meet, then slowly, I try this kind of approach, where I try to apply to my class, where after my students done one of the experiment in that week, the next I think that in the weekend on Saturday, we do some extra class via online. So that time I try to get in. I try to add in the CER approach to my students. And at the beginning, yes, of course, it was quite challenging because I need to strengthen my students' understanding and link it, okay, relate it with the science process skills, such as making conclusion, okay, with the CER approach. Therefore, I slowly, I think for 6 or 8 months, something like that, okay, I guided my students in over the time, okay, every time, right? So in 2024, okay, when these students progress to Form 2, okay, that time, okay, I observe several positive changes in their attitudes and motivation to answer the questions. Okay, over time, they became more confident and were able to provide scientific justifications for their answer. And the most significant impact was seen their overall student development, where in 2025, they become more enthusiastic about learning and more actively involved in innovation competitions. One of the small research innovation they carried out was building a green electrolysis system to support the photosynthesis in plants. So with this kind of method, actually, it can help to build up students' confidence. And from the classroom, they go out, get to the outside of the classroom, and then they can, they're able to speak more confidence. Okay, they are very motivated, okay, to share their ideas, okay, with their friends outside. Okay, so this is some of the pictures, okay, what my students do, okay, after I implement the CER approach to them. Okay, so one of the most meaningful memories that I will always remember is shared success between my students and myself as a teacher. Okay, there are several parts to this journey. Okay, first, my own students. Okay, the students who were exposed to the CER approach became more motivated and were able to express their arguments. Okay, although they still need, okay, I think they still need continuous guidance from the teachers. So it means that if they go to Form 4, so the teachers, they should guide this student, okay, over time. Okay, and this made me realize that this knowledge should be shared more widely with other teachers in Sarawak. Okay, second, I still remember, okay, the second is for the primary school teachers. Okay, firstly, I would like to express my appreciation to Senior Wrexham and the Kuching District Education Office, PPD Kuching, for their support and collaboration in organizing workshops to introduce the use and implementation of CER to primary school teachers in the Kuching, okay, Kuching district. So at first time, most of teachers, they are very, they feel same like me when first time, okay, exposed with the CER. But then slowly, okay, the teachers, they can really able to relate, okay, this method, okay, this approach, not method, all right, sorry, excuse me, okay, this approach, okay, to help their students, okay, to build up their motivation and confidence, especially for the scientific arguments, okay, slowly, right? Okay, hi everyone. Then teacher Nora Zura, BT Abdul Jalil, or teacher Zura. More of that. Okay, I would like to thank. Before this, I was a teacher of Education Malaysia and also the Yayasan Petronas, where through the program Duta Guru PDG, okay, I had the opportunity to be involved in sharing and introducing the CER approach within the KSSM science curriculum during the visit of the Minister of Education, YB Fadlina in Tanjung Karang, Selangor. So I feel that this is that time, that is the precious moment for me, because firstly I was very scared, okay, because this is the new approach, okay, but then I try slowly, where I try to to convince, okay, to convince during the session, okay, to the minister. So I think that it is very meaningful, because I don't think that this kind of method is not useful, but actually this method, okay, this approach is very powerful tool, powerful approach to help students to get engaged, and then help the students to build up their confidence in making scientific argument in the classroom. Okay, and finally, I would like to thank to the Curriculum Development Division, Ministry of Education Malaysia, KBPK, for appointing me as a writer for the teacher guidance module. Okay, I took this opportunity to include, okay, to add in the CER approach as one in the module, okay, as to support teachers in their teaching practice. Okay, when we talk about challenges, yes, of course, yeah. At the beginning, right, I faced some critical challenges of I think from my students, okay, because at that time, at the first time when they learn about the CER, they try to reject it, okay, but then I slowly advise them, and then motivate them and guide them, okay, and guide them every time, okay, during that time. And I think that my students, they change, okay, they change where most of my students actually they really like to memorize everything, okay, because I don't know, maybe when they were in primary school, maybe their science teacher asked them to memorize all the facts, but when they get entered to secondary school, when I teach them, so I try to advise my students not to memorize all the facts, all the hypotheses, all the inference, and all the conclusion, okay, about the topic, but try to understand. Okay, so I tried this approach, the CER approach, to help my students. Okay, and slowly, okay, after I always motivate them, okay, and always guide them, okay, during my class that time. So slowly they give a good response, where they can, I don't know, when I teach I think about some experiment, okay, the electrolysis. Suddenly, one of my students, they can create their own claim, okay, based on their findings on the experiment of the electrolysis. And suddenly, after that, I ask again my students, okay, what is your explanation of your findings in this experiment. So then my students, they able, they can relate the scientific, the scientific skills, and also the scientific, scientific conclusion. They can relate it with the CER, where they can make their own reasoning and also their scientific arguments. Yeah, I'm so happy at that time. Okay, so at that time, I think that I tried so many strategies to help my students, and alhamdulillah, my students, they can create their own CR, their own scientific arguments. Okay, slowly, it takes time. Okay, but you have to do is, as a teacher, you have to keep patience and always do your best to teach your students. Okay, so honestly, I think this approach should be exposed to teachers in Sarawak, okay? Especially the STEM teachers who are teaching in science and mathematics subject, okay? One of the best way is through the professional learning community, the PLC, where the teachers, they can do the lesson study, okay? How to implement the CER into their teaching and learning in the classroom, and do some teacher sharing, right? So I think this is the good ways, or maybe good initiative for the teachers to get improved, okay? Because through CER, actually, students can think scientifically, okay? But the students, they need structured support and time to learn how to explain their thinking, how to express their ideas, okay? How to make a good argument scientifically, okay? So from my point of view, as a message to the policymakers or maybe to the leaders, okay, based on my experience teaching in a rural school in Sarawak, reasoning-based approach as claim, evidence, and reasoning, the CER, have shown strong potential in building students' confidence, critical thinking, and ability to justify their scientific findings. Okay. However, meaningful change does not happen overnight. Okay. It requires continuous professional development for teachers, sufficient time for classroom practice, and consistent systemic support at the school, district, and also national levels. Okay, therefore, policy support that enable sustained teachers training, professional learning communities, and access to practical teaching resources and ongoing monitoring is essential. Embed such as approaches into everyday classroom. Okay, investing in teachers today is a strategic investment in the quality of STEM education and the future readiness of our students. So, yeah, so that's my sharing, and thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Nur Azura from Malaysia, for those valuable insight connecting classroom practices in this SEA-TEP program. So we could see one of the key strengths of the SEA-TEP approach in Malaysia highlighted today is the focus on the structured lesson design, module use, and students' engagement, which has supported teachers in making instructional decision while using the CR and also modeling adaptation. Thank you very much to all the speakers who have been joining us today, and we'll now open the floor for questions from the audience. So you may actually ask any question and kindly indicate which speaker you would like to address them to. So based on the Zoom platform, we have one question to our speaker from Thailand, Ms. Banyapon Ital. Yeah, there is one from Indonesia. His name is Harry. Okay, so this is the question. Indonesia is currently implementing Curriculum Merdeka, which gives teachers the flexibility to create meaningful learning experiences. So is there a similar official policy in Thailand that encourages teachers to adopt CR method as an alternative to traditional rote memorization? Okay, Ms. Banyapon, the question is for you.
ขอเป็นภาษาไทยได้ไหมคะที่มีอัน This question always
So Ms. Banyapon, you would like to talk in Thai? We will have a translation for you.
ค่ะขอแปลคำถามด้วยได้ไหมคะ
Ask the question first. There is one from Zoom. This question, Indonesia.เหมือนว่าที่อินโดนีเซียใช่ไหมครับกำลังดำเนินหลักสูตรที่เป็นเมอร์เดกานะครับก็ทำให้คุณครูมีความยืดหยุ่นในการพัฒนาหรือว่าสร้างประสบการณ์ในการให้ความหมายแล้วก็มีคือนโยบายทางการในประเทศไทยมีการส่งเสริมให้คุณครูพยายามใช้แนวทางเรื่องของ CER เป็นแทนการสอนแบบให้เด็กท่องจำหรือว่าพยายามเขาเรียกว่าอะไรครับท่องจำไหมครับประมาณนี้ครับคำถาม
คือเหมือนประมาณว่าที่ไทยเราส่งเสริม CER ไหมใช่ไหมคะถ้าสรุปง่ายๆ
คือเหมือนกับว่าทางอินโดเขาเรียกว่ามีนโยบายใช่ไหมครับหรือแนวทางในการพัฒนาหลักสูตรแล้วก็ให้คุณครูพัฒนาประสบการณ์ให้เด็กเหมือนฝึกการให้ความหมายเนาะโดยอย่างเช่นใช้ของ CER แล้วก็ในบริบทของประเทศไทยมีแนวทางที่จะแบบเป็นทางการไหมที่ส่งเสริมให้คุณครูได้ใช้เรื่องของ CER แทนที่จะเป็นเหมือนการสอนแบบดั้งเดิมของเรานะครับโดยการท่องจำอะไรแบบนี้คุณครูแชร์ประสบการณ์ตรงนี้ได้
เท่าที่อยู่เป็นคุณครูตั้งแต่ฝึกประสบการณ์แล้วก็เป็นครูจริงนะคะก็คือเหมือนยังไม่ได้เน้นการให้เหตุผลขนาดนั้นมองในระดับประถมต้นนะคะก็คือเหมือนหลักสูตรไทยเราเนี่ยกำลังพยายามปรับให้เด็กๆคิดจากเหมือนเรียนแบบไม่ได้จำสูตรแต่ในที่นี้เนี่ยยังไม่ได้มีแบบทางการเหมือนทางประเทศเขาคือเรามีแค่ว่าเด็กเนี่ยต้องสามารถคำนวณได้แต่ไม่ได้เน้นว่าเด็กต้องตอบได้จากเหตุผลอย่างเงี้ยค่ะคือเหมือนแล้วคุณครูเนี่ยก็ไม่ได้มีประสบการณ์ด้านการสอนให้เด็กให้เหตุผลมากมายขนาดนั้นคือเหมือนประเทศไทยเนี่ยเราจะใช้ CR กับวิทยาศาสตร์มากกว่า CR ในภาพคณิตศาสตร์เนี่ยหรือวิชาอื่นเนี่ยยังไม่ค่อยเห็นค่ะแต่จริงๆเนี่ยในหลักสูตรของอื่นๆเนาะคุณครูมักจะสอนให้เด็กท่องจำสูตรมากกว่าอย่างเช่นสูตรการหาพื้นที่จริงๆแล้วเราสามารถอธิบายได้จากการนับตารางโยงไปสู่การสร้างภาพจำแบบสูตรใช่ไหมคะก็คือกว้างคูณยาวแบบนี้แต่ในประเทศไทยเราคุณครูคณิตศาสตร์ในไทยเรายังไม่ได้นำการให้เหตุผลมาใช้มากมายขนาดนั้นค่ะ
So we translate in English. So based on her experience, thank you for the question. So she teach for the primary grade level, and she experienced herself that students usually use the CR in scientific or in science subject, but not that much in mathematics subject. So usually in Thailand, students learn the formula and then practice, but quite not that much that teacher use the picture or the concrete example to convert from or allow students to explaining the meaning behind, connect from the concrete one to the formula or the abstract one. So CER is quite new for her, but it's a good start for her to allow students to giving the meaning or the reason based on their experience about solving the problem. That's all for her answer.
Thank you very much, Ms. Yapon and also Mr. Chochai for the feedback and insight related to Mr. Harry's question just now. Okay, we also have another question from the Zoom platform. Okay, it will goes to Ms. Siti Fatima from Indonesia, our speaker from Malaysia. So how does regular CR practice help students to build confidence when justifying their scientific findings during discussion or assessment? So have you seen any result from your students that the CR approach is also effective? So Ms. Siti Fatima, the question is for you.
Okay, thank you. Have you seen the result that the CER approach is effective? So in this slide, we implement the CER method just in 80 minutes. So it's just the practice in classroom. So I think it needs some, what is that, full cycles. So we can see the result. So for now, I think I cannot answer apakah dia what this CR is effective. So I think it's more time, more duration to implement. That's it. It's from me.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Fatima. Yes, I agree with you. This kind of project really need some time in terms of looking at the sustainability of the projects and also looking at the outcomes. So we will have another question from the room. I think there is one from Dr. Juan Robertino from Simio Inotec.
Good morning. My question is actually very simple. Everyone, based on your presentations, it appears that the SAGE modeler, the CER, and other models, STEM models for teaching are very successful, as you have mentioned, as you have given us earlier. Given the fact that not all STEM teachers were given a chance to undergo this sort of training program, it's up to you now to encourage the non-participant. If you were to encourage them to do this model for teaching in their respective classroom, what would be your immediate approach? And look at this situation. You're encouraging someone who is very progressive in the sense that I'm very much interested in new models for application. And how do you approach non-progressive teachers, meaning those who do not want to learn anymore, but rather I would just do what I'm doing right now? The question is actually for everyone. Thank you.
Okay, maybe have one of the speakers to answer it. Miss May Sophia from Cambodia. Miss Sophia, are you still here with us?
Yeah, do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah.
Could you please the question short because I could not catch the question.
Okay, how do we encourage other teachers to adopt the models, the CR, the SAGE modeler that you have already used in your classroom as regular teachers, system teachers? And the other question is, if you were to approach teachers who do not want to change, how do you do it? Thank you.
Okay, first one. For this approach is very powerful and useful for teacher and also effective for the student. So to encourage another teacher to use the approach, as my presentation is very to like it so that we can encourage students engage on the classroom activity and make students have a critical thinking in the future and especially in the biology concept. I don't know if my question fit your question or not.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. May. I hope this answer your question. Dr. Robertino?
Can I add to some response to your question? If there's a question about how to engage teachers, I think it's a question more for organizers of the PD. So for us, and this is also some of the problem how to engage not motivated teachers, but it should be natural, showing the leaders, other leaders, and through other leaders, and it should be natural and not forced. So like in nature, it's what's happening. So the not motivated teachers will see how students of the other teachers have some achievements. So, for example, when I discussed with our speaker, she just now said me that her students who finished school last year, they came to her and said like, thank you to giving us an opportunity to use different modeling and different approach, not only CER and SAGE, but in general, and it helps them in university. So this is like an answer.
Thank you.
Following to Mr. Darian's feedback just now, there is another question related to the leadership. All right, this is for Ms. Kalia Barfro from Kazakhstan. So we will also have the translator, Mr. Azamat, to share us about the information with the speakers. So the question is, what role did the school leadership play in supporting SEA-TEP classroom implementation?
Yeah, I will help to translate. Elmira Khan, with you.
Thank you for question. Даррен, вы переведите. Ага, я поняла. Уважаемые коллеги, обязательно должна быть поддержка руководства школы, завучей, директора, завуч по методической части. Без них, конечно, большая поддержка со стороны директора. Сегодня она у нас была на вебинаре, когда я отнесла ей письмо. Она прежде всего, она такие вещи, она сама химик, учитель химии, поэтому как две коллеги мы всегда с ней советуемся. Поэтому она в этом отношении очень хорошо меня поддерживает.
Это все или у вас еще будет в целом,
Нет.
да?
И в целом вы же сказали, как мотивировать. Конечно, поддержка школы и прежде всего курсы, которые мы прошли. Если бы каравана knowledge, Даррен, вас не было, мы бы об этом и не знали бы.
Yeah, I will translate. So Ms. Elmira says support of the school principal and vice principal administration of the school is very important. And she says fortunately, her principal of the school, vice principal, and all school and administration, they are open-minded and open to new approach, new methods. And also head of school, she is a chemistry teacher also. So this is why they support any STEM activities and approach. And all teachers are open to new approach. So this is the main idea.
Можно еще, Дарын, дополнить? Вы задавали вопрос насчет мотивированных детей. Когда мы работаем с SEA-R и с SAGE-моделированием, виртуальным моделированием, буквально все ученики, не бывает такого. Кто-то по силам, у кого-то, кто более силен в этом, он делает большую часть работы. Тот, он смотрит за тем, как делают сильные ученики. Когда вот это как бы обучаемость, они друг друга обучают друг друга. Поэтому я думаю, это очень важно.
And response to how to engage not motivated students, not teachers, but how to engage not motivated students. So the answer is when you use new approach and modeling, especially modeling, everyone is involving to the work and discussion. And the main role of teacher is to differentiate tasks, and using group work, you can involve each student, because some of them show how other works and engaging to the one work.
И, Дарren, еще один вопрос. Смотрите, у нас есть преемственность. Например, старшие классы показывают это все младшим классам. То есть не так сложно, но объясняют. Вот эта преемственность между классами есть у нас. Я вот это каждый год провожу.
And Miss Elmira says in her school there are continuity of education, so older and higher classes shows and teaches youngers. It's systematically in her school. Спасибо.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Kalyak Barova, and also Mr. Darren for the explanation just now. So I would like also to read one of the insights that have been given by Dr. Wan Nur Azmin, one of our implementers for this SEA-TEP program in Malaysia under the Semioraxon team. So for the team, CR is an alternative pedagogical approach, and it is quite new to the team from Semioraxon and also Malaysia. But as for the experience, is the giving training of the teachers, they could come up with a module or teaching guidance to implement CR according to our practice inside the classroom. So I think this is one of the future kind of recommendations and also reference for the next program. So ladies and gentlemen, after listening to these diverse yet connected experiences from our speakers, we are reminded that while our context may be different, the essence of quality of STEM education learning and the leadership that support it remain remarkably consistent. So to help us to synthesize the key insight from this morning sharing session, is now my great pleasure to invite Dr. Kesara Amuvutivon, the Center Director of SEA-TEP, and also Mr. Darren Zayanov, the Chief Executive Officer of the Caravan of Knowledge from Kazakhstan, to provide a reflection on the SEA-TEP experiences, followed by the closing remark from Dr. Kesara. Please welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Hani, and thank you so much the speakers who share their successful experience. And I've learned a lot from your sharing, and all of you have shared passions to transform the classroom. Yeah, and it's very obvious that you also try to help students change through many scaffoldings, tasks that you try to diversify different differentiate learnings method through different group of students. We really appreciate the knowledge that you have shared. One thing that I learned that you also have to overcome the fear, right? And maybe the lack of familiarity with the new tools that you have been introduced and you are going to use them, and how students will respond. And I learned that there are partners, right? Because the SEA-TEP program has been designed to support you with the instructional support by partners who are faculty members. For example, in Kazakhstan, Caravan of Knowledge have been working closely with the Valiakanov University faculty members to support teachers. So, Narine, can you share with me that what exact actions that your team have done to support the teachers when coming to implementing new practices?
Okay, thank you. And regarding to the caravan and our experience, as usual, so we start from good planning. And I would like to say some like plans are nothing, but planning is everything. So when you good planning something and you try to say predict something, yeah, and also the main part is not only courses what we did, not only our localization of the content, but also post-course support. So we always add after course some hours for post-course support. We continue to be in touch with teachers, with our participants, and we doing research. While doing research, also we are supporting them with taking feedback and comparing how it was before courses, in a course and after courses. And even after a year, 2 years, we are asking them how it was and comparing different programs. So this is an answer for your question.
And when can you clarify more about the planning? When you said planning mean you also need to predict, right? Can you elaborate more? What did you predict with the teachers when preparing for the lesson, applying new tools?
It's a lot of factors. So depending of the cultural differences, also of our country, and like age of teachers and everything. In our system, there are several schools, there are several type of schools, and even type of school. For example, Miss Elmira from, we have a school called lyceums and gymnasiums. They have more hours, and they are more free than general schools. So also it depends. But of course, we in any course we involve teachers from each type of school to see how it's growing in general school, in lyceums, in gymnasiums, in some specialized schools. So of course, some schools are better because they are already motivated and the teachers and students are better, but we involve all. So when we plan, we need to, how to say, also, it depends on the area. So why we divided this time, we are planning to divide Kazakhstan on 3 parts. It's because we learned from previous course that it will be better, because in previous course we involved whole country, so we see that it was some rural areas with maybe more problems to add new approach.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Darren.
Thank you.
And I learned that there are several success factors, and many of you have reflected that. And I would like to reflect that these are very important factors that I've learned. And you confirmed that with me. You confirmed that teachers will implement new practices whenever they see and observe positive results from students through their own eyes. I think whenever that new practice is just only tried the first stage is how to motivate them to try. And that is the first step, right? So we try to introduce them through workshops, but that's not enough because maybe after the workshop, they might not try out in the classroom. The key process is how to help them to feel confident that if they implement those practices in the classroom, they will not fail, right? Because they care about how students will respond. So the first step is how to build teachers' confidence to try that out in the classroom with confidence that students will respond to their new tools, to their new lessons that help them become better, right, in the learning. So I learned that in many classes, like for example in Thailand, the instrument, the sheet, right, have been customized to help students try that classroom, the school survey, right, about what area that the respondent love the most in the school. And there were the answer about the library, the learning room, learning platform, right? So they try to customize the learning sheet, the instrument to help students engage better. And I think customization of the by designing good scaffolding instruments, right, is very important because it helps teachers to feel confident that students will engage more. And I think, but to be able to do that, many of you reflect about context is very important, because when you design the task that does matter to students, I think that you will receive the better response, right? In many cases, like even like collecting sample because water is considered very important, and they see in everyday life, or even the student survey, right? Because they want to propose some idea to their principal about the data that they collect. They try to contextualize the driving questions, and because this lead to driving question. Driving question is the key to three-dimensional learning. Every unit that we introduce in our program has a meaningful, I would say, compelling driving question, and this driving question is set according to the context of the student environment. In some cases, you can create the driving question that link with the concept that students want to learn, and also very meaningful to students. And because you believe that by doing that, students will engage in the learning activities. And you also confirm that when you design the learning experience that has the context that is meaningful to students want to engage in that learning experience. And you also confirm with us that by having partners that work with you side by side through universities, through caravan, senior partners like some Simulec. So having these partners who help support you in the instruction, help contribute to make your lesson more impactful, because it helps you transform the classroom with the level of confidence. And some of you confirm that with leadership support, you are able to, some of you manage your time, right? In the current situation when you might have limited time but with leadership support, you are able to manage your time that you might need extra time when such a new practice is needed. And many of you, which I believe that did not have a chance to share your experience, you grow from only one class of 60 minutes, 80 minutes to many classes. And you have observed that student practices also have changed, because if you want to change your student practices, only 1 hour is not enough. 2 hours, it's not sufficient. But it has to be continuous practices, that if you want to see a better reasoning, if you think that claim evidence reasoning is one of great tools that help students reason better, so you want to make that claim evidence reasoning to stick in your classroom. And I agree with you that some of you mentioned about how you can expand this kind of reasoning to help other subject teachers also help students make a better reasoning in other classes. And we are appreciative that you initiate the cross-subject approach. And some of you might have done that easier because you are in the primary education level, right? Because you might also responsible for other subjects as well. But this also motivate us to think about the approach that science, math, technology, literacy, and other subject teachers can work together when we come up with a good lesson with meaningful driving questions that that students want to engage, right? And I think that you have inspired us that whatever grade level of the students, they can be a better rationalist, analyst by using the data if they are provided with the right tools, if they are motivated with the right questions, that they want to participate in responding to those questions. So let's continue to work on together in the near future. SEA-TEP with our partners will continue to formulate the community of practices, and in the future we would like to see many of you out of this speaker group, and many of you who are listening in this Zoom meeting. We will continue to formulate community of practices, and we will engage you in leading this community of practices in the future. In the future, we imagine that there will be breakout sessions, that you will have a breakout group, and some of you will be the facilitator to lead the discussions about the classroom that you have experienced, and you will directly share and maybe summarize the expertise that you gather from your own room. I believe that when teachers are highly motivated to change, I think that is the most sustainable way, not by the policy, not by other kind of incentives, but the only incentive that all teachers have is to observe that their students progress in the learning outcomes. As what Darin mentioned, right? When students enter the universities, they came back to talk with their teachers and to share their gratitudes about what teachers have contributed to their success. I think that is the most rewarding moment that all teachers have. So let's strengthen this community together and Yeah, find out more from Simeo STEM Ed website, Facebook. We will continue to promote this community of practices to become stronger and stronger. And with all of your support, who are model teachers that can build the future for the region, for the world. Thank you very much for your contribution. Yeah, and see you next time.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kesara and Dr. Darin, for the thoughtful discussion and reflection. So as we see that today's sharing has importantly amplified teachers' voices, and these experiences are presented during the sharing sessions remind us that meaningful professional growth occurs when educators are given the space, tools, and also trust to reflect on their own practices and to learn from one another. The session has demonstrated how classroom-level innovation can inform broader school and system-level improvement. So the SEA-TEP experiences shared today offer valuable insight for our educational leaders as well, in seeking out to strengthening the alignment between the instructional practices and the policy priorities. This session has also reinforced the importance of regional learning communities and give the opportunity to hear directly from peers across countries, which has fostered mutual learning, professional respect, and a shared sense of purpose. As we look ahead, the experiences shared in the SEA-TEP session provided a strong foundation for future program development. So these offer concrete examples of how practice-based learning can inform long-term system project development in the future. So on behalf of Simeo STEM Ed in Bangkok, I would like to extend our sincere appreciation to all the speakers from Cambodia, Kazakhstan, Indonesia, Malaysia, and also Thailand, our guests and also participants from the YouTube Live and also the Zoom platform, from making this SEA-TEP sharing session both meaningful and also inspiring. We hope that these lessons shared today will continue to inform the leadership practices and future initiatives under the STEM Education Leadership for Change program that will be held and conducted in the future as well. Thank you very much for your active participation, and we wish you a productive continuation of the program. So we look forward to welcoming you again at our next webinar will be organized by our center in the future. So until then, we wish you a pleasant day ahead. So see you next time. Thank you very much again. Terima kasih and Kap Kun Ka.